quick look at what's happened in Bengaluru that was rather disappointing. A tech CEO has walked out of Bengaluru, not for better business opportunities, but for what he calls language nonsense. Precisely what Kaushik Mukherjee has said while he shifts his entire company from Bengaluru to Pune after that very viral video of an SBI manager refusing to speak in Kannada, a moment that really spiraled into a large debate about language identity. Now, in a strongly worded post, Kaushik has said he did not want his non-Kannada speaking employees to become victims like that of what he called growing linguistic intolerance in Bengaluru. The row has led to protests by Kannada groups, but it also raised questions about whether the city's famed cosmopolitan character itself is slowly eroding. Because, well, looking at it objectively across India, whether in Karnataka, Maharashtra, language barriers do exist. But when identity politics turns into intimidation and the state watches in silence, it clearly begins to threaten more than just sentiment. It starts to hurt jobs, investment, and economy. This is Bengaluru, which is called the India's startup capital, home to unicorns, VCs, talent from literally every corner of the country coming into Bengaluru. Can it really afford to lose its inclusive spirit? To give us a little sense on this, let me bring in Sridhar Pabbi Shetty for more on that. Sridhar, thanks very much for tuning in. Sridhar, go on. Give us your take on what we see here. A Bengaluru CEO has decided that he wants to, pack up lock, stock, barrel, move to Pune because he's scared his employees who don't speak Kannada will be victim to what we saw there with the SBI case. What's your take on that?
Thank you, Nabila, for inviting me on this debate. I think it's a little bit of an overreaction from Mr. Kaushik, and I think he would know better than trying to move from, Karnataka to Maharashtra. As you rightly mentioned, language frictions are a phenomenon across the country, and not just across the country, across the world as well. But to kind of look at how Bengaluru has been cosmopolitan, not just for the last few years, it's also been for the last few decades. In the late 70s, Bengaluru was probably the only city in India which would have matinee shows with 5 different languages running, right? And if you go back even a few centuries before, we have had inscription stones from all languages, Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, Marathi, and you name it, Urdu as well, right? So I guess Bengaluru is fairly cosmopolitan city. It is a hub of talent that's unmissable, and also it's hot on the VC focus. So there is a lot of investment, a lot of talent, and a very cosmopolitan city in spite of the recent few incidents that have come about. I really think that
you know what, Sridhar, I would want to interrupt you. Where have we seen any kind of interjection or intervening from the government side to ensure that nerves are calm? You know, we're looking at fringe groups really hijacking these debates to a point of intimidation, violence. That's not what Bengaluru stands for.
I think that's a fair point, Nabila, that the government should step in and not allow the fringe groups to set the narrative. I think CM in his social media post was fairly, coming forward and saying that this is where the matter should end, where the SBI matter was being debated online. And I think in the SBI matter, clearly the SBI staffer was ill-advised on on showing a very protesting behavior towards the local language. Even the RBI guidelines and even the constitution mandates that you should be respectful of the local language. Somewhere that's where the SBI staffer got it wrong. And thankfully, she later came and apologized. And I think the CM set the record straight and said, hopefully the lessons have been learned and the banks will make an effort to ensure that all public-facing officials are trained in the local language. But I think the fringe groups have to be reined in. They have to be told there is a place of dialogue, there is a place of consultation, and progressive engagement on all language related issues. Local language is paramount across the country in every state, and that should always be kept in a reasonable way in which the economic vitality of the city is not compromised.
A final word of advice to those fearing Bengaluru, wanting to come down to the Silicon Valley, startup capital, cosmopolitan city, and could have a rude shock facing one of those KRV members?
Don't panic. Bengaluru has been cosmopolitan, as I said, from centuries ago. We have been a very welcoming society. The fringe group should not dictate your decisions. You should definitely talk to more and more people in Bengaluru before you make a decision of coming here or not coming. The weather is unmissable. The talent is unmissable. The VC funding is unmissable. So,
Right.
so do come over here. I'm sure reason will come into all the fringe groups as well. They understand that Bengaluru, the brand Bengaluru is important for everyone. We have our own flaws, but overcoming them is a collective pursuit.
Thank you, Sridhar. Really appreciate you taking your time off.